I want to talk more about the sales process of the new Edenic era that we've entered into. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying, please go to the HumOverHustle.com podcast. Check out the other videos and audios on the subject. Right now, I want to talk about embodying the very essence of the thing you want to become before it actually becomes it. Now, let me explain. There are a lot of sports figures that have figured this out. They actually visualize something that they want to become before they become it. So whether it's a champion, winning the Super Bowl, winning the Olympics, whatever it is, they actually embody the very idea of them standing there on the podium collecting the gold medal or the championship trophy, whatever it is. It's the same principle in business and sales. So say you really enjoy, and it all begins with this. Please go back and watch the other new era sales videos and podcasts. Listen to those. This really explains the foundation of this, but basically this is what it is if I am loving what I do, I have to start there. I have to love myself first, not egoically, but really care for who I am and appreciate who I am with all of my flaws, all of the fat on my face, all of the insecurities, all of the isms and schisms and woundings and all of that. You just do it because you love it, right? So often you see people that are in a role that they don't love because they're doing it just to pay the bills. And that is no reason to go in and to actually do something long term. Now, it's one thing if it's temporary, you're just kind of there to as a transition point, right? In that company, or doing the thing with your sales at the market. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to do this for a little while, but what my heart carries is the end result of what I want to embody and become. So you've already seen it and you're living from that. You're living from the end in the beginning. Meaning that, just bring it down to home here. Say you want to own a restaurant. You've already tasted the food that you've been preparing for your family and friends for a while now. You know that it's a great recipe because they all say it is. You've already seen yourself standing in the kitchen of your dream restaurant, even if you start out in a little cafe. You've already saw what it looks like to have multiple restaurants if that's your desire. You've already watched the food channel enough to know that you could be standing right next to Bobby Flay and all the rest, right? Guy and all of these celebrity chefs. So you've seen it, right? You've tasted the recipe. You've looked at the menu within you internally, and you've already somewhat become that end result. Keep that picture and that vision with you always, no matter what happens. Now, let's go a step further. You want to resonate with that. So the resonance is I'm going to embody the tone and the musicality and the harmonics of what that sounds like and feels like in that arena of that end result, whatever it is. So it's not enough to just see it. You have to feel into it and literally hear the tone of what you would sound like and be like with the tuning fork within you, harmonizing and humming with the end result. When you hold that tone long enough, it's practice. It takes practice. If you fall on your face, just get up again and do it again, right? It takes practice daily. I would encourage you to do it daily, even if you're holding it for 5 minutes. That tone, man, what would it sound like? What would it feel like? What would it look like? Me embodying that end result of what I see myself being in New York City or Chicago or LA or Zimbabwe. It doesn't matter where it is. Small town America. If your dream is to have the best breakfast little cafe in a small town of 2,000 population, awesome. Nobody should argue with that. Nobody should look down on that because nobody should be shitting on you. That's just the way it is. You are a unique individual. You are authentic in your own design underneath of all the scaffolding of conditioning and programming. So I would encourage you, picture yourself there as often as possible. And then what's going to happen is when you hold that resonance a little bit longer each day, then things are going to begin to manifest and show up in your life. You're going to get favor in a certain area. You're going to get a phone call, email, text message from somebody that has some element of that idea coming into fruition in the matter realm. So you're doing it in the ethereal realm, the spirit realm, the field realm, by embodying the vision, smelling it, tasting it, feeling it internally first. Now you're going to start to see the matter show up. The material items show up in the tangibility of a phone call, a conversation, an aha moment in a grocery store or a restaurant or a cafe or at a gas station or at a friend's house. They're going to say something that's going to match what you've just embodied down the road. You see how this works? These are clues from God. These are clues from the quantum field to say you're on the right path. They're cookie crumbs on the trail leading you to what you envision. This is not manipulation. This is not some woo-woo hocus pocus stuff. This is embodiment of what you see in that realm that actually manifests it in the matter realm, in the material realm. This is just common physics, you guys. Common physics. So if I see myself driving, say your dream is to have a pickup truck, and you name the color, you're just sitting there. This is not name it and claim it stuff either, guys. That's not what we're talking about. Talking about literally becoming the future in the now. God wants us to walk out the desires of our heart. What he doesn't want, what God doesn't want, what unconditional love doesn't want for us is for us to operate out of the conditioned, egoic, wounded side of our lives to where we're pompous and egotistical when we actually do the thing. Because that doesn't serve anybody at their highest level. Imagine that egoic, pompous, psychopathic, narcissistic mindset and energy infused into that restaurant and that food when somebody tastes it. That's what unconditional love does not want, whether you realize that or not. When I go into a restaurant, I want to taste and feel the love in that restaurant. I want to taste the love infused energetically into that food. I don't know about you, but I do. I really want that. And it's the same wherever I go. And I would guess that the majority of the people out there feel the same way. So embody that sucker. Embody who you really are. Embody who you see yourself literally growing into. Here's where it's super important to realize is detaching from the outcome, allowing whatever comes in whatever package and whatever timing and whatever shape, whatever form to show up without these preconceived ideas and perceptions and conditions that we put on something. In other words, I can't sit here and say, okay, it's going to show up at this moment, at this time, this day from this person. No, because that's what the ego loves to figure out. And that's not how God operates. That's not how the field operates, my friend. The field operates on a much higher level, operates by surprise. And when we can't figure it out, then guess who gets the credit? Not us, but the greater part of you, authenticity and intertwined with love. That's who gets the credit, God. So when we move and live and have our being in this ideology or this reality or this truth, this is what begins to happen for our lives. Now, be patient in the process. Things are going to show up when they show up. People are going to give you money when they give you money. Things are going to unfold when they unfold. This is where you learn to enjoy the now. Enjoy the present moment of the now as much as possible. Learn to play, have fun, have joy creating the thing so that when you take step by step, you actually have a process that's enjoyable instead of resenting it. All right. I hope that helped. We'll see you on the next hum.